During the 3 weeks, there are exceptions where the various signs of mourning can be overlooked. First of all, as you know, there was a time when business, or people in business, were very concerned about how they looked. And they felt that going in an unshaven manner to work or trying to deal with clients of one kind or another would be unacceptable. So many poskim allowed people who would suffer or felt they would suffer a great financial loss to cut their hair, take a shave, at least until Rosh Chodesh Av. I think that most people would agree that today is a kind of a more liberal spirit, and the customers are more interested in the product or the value than how the person who is selling the product looks. Even if we're talking about doctors or lawyers, I think people feel that the competence is what counts. And what a person looks like is not always of great significance. So I think that, at least in my experience, is that more and more people in the free professions take into account the fact that during these 3 weeks they'll look a little scruffy, but it doesn't seem to affect their ability to do business. As far as taking a haircut is concerned, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch paskins that at a bris milah, at a circumcision, the moel, the sandak, and the father were all considered to be balei abrit, right? They are involved in the mitzvah. They're doing the mitzvah. The moel, of course, he's doing the act. And the sandak is holding the baby, without which it would be hard for the moel to do it. And the father is the one who has the obligation. So all of these three people could take a haircut again until Shavua Shechal Bo Tisha B'Av, until after the Shabbat before Tisha B'Av. Also, the Shulchan Aruch doesn't mention it, but the Mishnah Berurah points out that it's possible to cut your fingernails again until the Shavua Shechal Bo Tisha B'Av. So we see that in general, that there are kinds of increasing or decreasing levels of intensity in this mourning process. For Ashkenazim, the lowest level begins on the 7th day of Tammuz and continues until Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh, the time after Rosh Chodesh, is the Shavua Shechal Bo Tisha B'Av, the actual week that Tisha B'Av takes place, and then finally, the most intense time, naturally, is Tisha B'Av itself, so that we can get involved. And as I said several days ago, history doesn't change. I mean, the Churban Beit HaMikdash, the difficulties that the Jews had with their obligations to the Torah are never wiped away because good things or bad things happen. And so, even though we live in a wondrous age, and even though we feel blessed in the state of Israel, and that it's hard for us to relate to the notion of Churban, or I'd say it's a lot harder than it was 200 years ago in Eastern Europe. Nevertheless, as I say, history remains. The defects that we produced in our own history, they certainly remain. And therefore, an ongoing consideration of who we are and what obligations we have is certainly in place. And that's why this period from Shivas B'Tammuz until and including Tisha B'Av is of seminal importance for the Jewish people.